Okay, I've got my phones wired in now, and basically how it's set up is this one is wired to a TA312, which will be my operator. This one is wired to nothing. This one is wired to a TA312, which will function as a subscriber. This one's not wired to anything. This is wired to a TA1 that will be another subscriber. This one is wired to a second TA1, which will be a subscriber. And this one is wired to a TA312 as a subscriber. I'll go ahead, and the first thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll ring each one. Hopefully you can see the neon glow lamps glow. They're a little bit dim. Hopefully you'll be able to see it. Okay, the first one I'll do is the operator. I don't know how well you can see that. Next I'll do the first 312. Next, I'll do the TA1 and the other TA1, and finally the last 312. Hopefully that was bright enough to see. Now, how this would work in the real world, if you had this deployed into the field and we're using it, let's say one of the TA1s called in and said, you would answer it. And go ahead and say, hey, what do you need? And the guy would say, well, I need to talk to so-and-so. Well, you go ahead and say, okay, stand by. And you go ahead and pick it up, plug it into so-and-so, or if you wanted to, you could leave it like this and plug it into the guy you want to talk to and call him. Here, ringing, both lights are ringing. The guy answers and says, hey, what do you need? And well, I just got so-and-so on the line to talk to you. Stand by. You go ahead and unplug the operator, plug it back in, and then plug these two together. And these two parties are now talking to each other. Okay? Now it can be, if you wanted to do 2, 3, 4, whatever, stacked on top, which will make party lines, it's easy to do. When they're done with a phone call, one of them will do a ring off. It's really weak, but it's there to let you know, hey, they're done talking, and you would put it down like that. And that's basically how it functions. Like I said, it's possible to connect maybe 2 or 3 of these together to cover a wider area, or it's even possible to connect one of these to a SB-993 and just to continue branching your switchboards out with operators. But this is basically how it works. They should work. I haven't tested with all of them. I've checked them with several of my NATO and Russian or Eastern Bloc field phones, and they work. So it's probably something that would be, interoperable across all those phones if you wanted to do that. I'm going to shut down and demonstrate one more thing that a lot of people use these for. And this is the heart of the SB-993, and this is they call it a phone connector device. It's pretty simple. You'll see a molded plastic case right here, and inside there's a glow lamp. You can't see it very well, but you'll see it when it lights up. It's got 2 plugs on the top, and it allows 2 of them to be stacked together like that. These function as plugs and as screw tighteners. Basically, you can screw this down like I'm doing right now. You insert your field wire inside there, and you screw it in tight, and you're ready to go. And like I said, they're capable of being stacked on top of each other, like that, or maybe however many you wanted to do, but that's basically how they work. And what I ended up doing is I ended up getting a piece of this. This is, slide these out of the way. This is a HDPE, high-density polyethylene, also known as King Starboard by its manufacturer name, and I basically drilled some holes in it for each one of the pieces to fit in. So they basically fit like this to operate the system. They'll all have a piece will fit in here like this. The holes are an odd size, so I actually drilled a 1/4-inch hole and hit them with a countersink bit to wallow them out a little bit. Then I still had to do some wallowing around them to get them to fit, but this is basically how they go together, and that's how it holds them to work. And basically when you receive a call, you take your operator jack right here, and you bring it up, and you into the phone call you're calling, or whoever's calling you, and you talk and you're done. When you're done talking, you don't want to talk to me anymore, you go back to like that. That's it. Pretty basic, pretty simple. This works good. I thought about using a piece of wood, but then I thought about splintering and stuff like that, and I said, well, I can get a piece of this for a little bit more, and it's just pretty much indestructible. Okay, so what we'll do now is I'll go ahead and I'll shut down quick, and we'll go ahead and we'll wire some phones up, and I'll actually use this to show you how it works and make some calls. Okay, and here's the last thing you can do. I've heard of this being done. You can actually take it and wire it in line like this with the incoming field wire to your 312 or your phone. You can tuck it in there. Make sure you put some electrical tape. I have rubber caps that came with mine on this because there's basically voltage on there when it rings, and you can tuck it in your field phone like that, and it allows you to operate the field phone without having to have the ringer turned on. So you can see that it rings. You hear it clacking a little bit. That's just another option you have if you want to run the phone in like a quiet mode situation where you don't want anybody to hear that you're getting an incoming call. And that's it. I hope you learned something. This was the SB-993 and the U184 GT connecting module.